Hey guys, so I just wanted to give you a visual representation of our formation and strategies before we play our next game tomorrow. So we're going to keep with the same formation that we had last time. It can be thought essentially as a 3-2-1-2. You've got your defense or fullbacks in red, you've got your halfbacks, midfields in green, your center striker in blue, and your two forward strikers in purple. I'm going to break down quickly what each position should be doing. For fullbacks in red, our job, your job, is to stay between them and the goal. Never let them get behind you, never let them get in between you and start splitting you. If for any reason you might look over whichever position you're at and you see one of them making a run in, who's right here or right here, uh, because there's no offsides, they can be wherever they want. So just stay with them. Don't let them get a run in to me, essentially. If it does become a one-on-one with me and them, they're a lot more likely to score or put one into the corner when I'm trying to defend it, and take a guess on where they're going with it than if you were to be able to contest them and make them have to shoot. Essentially, if you're pressuring them, they won't have enough time to pick and shoot. Apart from that, as a fullback, defenseman, we just want to keep them out of the penalty area. Pretty much everything here, we do not want them to get in here. If we can avoid it, and if they are getting in here, we want to be able to take the ball from them before they get a chance to settle it down. Basically, clear it out, send it up the field. But basically, our job is to stay between them and the goal and keep them out of the penalty area as much as possible. The halfbacks are used to start supporting the defense when we're under attack, and then when we get the ball back to start the sprinting up and break out of our own half. So if we were to get the ball back, if I were to get the ball kind of, somewhere maybe over here, I would take the ball maybe to this side and I'd play it out to one of the halfbacks who would immediately start taking it up the wing, and the center striker and the two forward strikers and the other defensive mid would move forward with them to start the attack on the other side. Apart from that, make sure that you as a halfback are coming back and supporting the defense when we're under attack. I'll show you some scenarios later in the video about where you should be as to kind of when different attacks happen. If you're the center striker, your job is to essentially stay a little bit higher up the field. So if these two uh, halfbacks drop back to support them, your positioning should be somewhere around here. You want to stay a little bit higher than the rest of the team so that if we do break out and we do need to get the ball up really quick, you're there to receive it. You turn and you go, and you have your two forwards supporting you, so you can actually make an attack on their net. And as for the two forwards, your position should never drop too far below here and here. You want to stay pretty high because we need you to actually get there and take a shot on net. We don't get that many shots. We're not going to get that many chances. So my advice is to shoot everything you can, put everything at the net, try to get one to go in, because we're not getting a lot of opportunities with our team, and we're playing most of our game in our own half. So any chance you can get to shoot and take a quick shot is I'm all for it. Good shot in my opinion. Apart from that, I'll show you some quick scenarios as to what was happening last time and seeing how we can our positioning can help us out. So let's say hypothetically they've taken the ball and one of their wings has taken it down this way into one of the sides over on the side of the goal. What would happen in this case, ideally, would be this defense, the closest fullback would go over and start the pressure on them so that they couldn't get an easy walk into the goal. They would stop them here and have to make them play the ball somehow. basically cross it or pass it somewhere. Make them have to get rid of it. To cover for this defenseman moving over, the halfback would see this and move down to about here to play this position for the fullback. And then once the ball is cleared, you would go back to your normal positions. But what this does essentially is it surrenders this type of area of the field. It will be open for their team to take. But as long as you're staying between them and a goal, and they don't get into the zone, the penalty area, they can't. Them taking shots from here are not that dangerous. I will usually be able to see everything from here and stop it. So this is ideally what would happen. Same thing on this side. If one of their strikers took the ball down into the wing, our left back fullback would take it and cover them, and the center and the mid would drop down and cover this area. This should be what should happen. Make sure you communicate with each other on that. Let the other one know if you're fullback that you're moving over so that the halfback can cover you. The defense should essentially be moving as a unit together. So if this scenario were to happen and this fullback went over here to cover and halfback dropped back, the center defenseman probably wants to move down to about here just to cover everything. Or in the case of they actually get runners in the zone. So let's say they have a few people in the penalty area that need marking. What would happen in this case scenario is the fullback would come in, cover this, the halfback would go over, cover this person, the center mid would come over and cover this person, and the halfback, the other defenseman would come over and start marking this person in a scenario like that. Okay, so let's say their strikers are taking it straight down the field. Let's do either side, doesn't matter. So what we want to do as defense and halfback is start to contest the shot so they can't just take it in and walk in and rip one from right out here. We want to make them have to shoot or make them have to pass, make them have to choose a more difficult option. Whichever side they go, the center should begin to move up and start to pressure them a little bit. Don't dive in, but to essentially make them have to choose an option if they have to pass or shoot. At the same time, you should be getting some back pressure from the halfbacks on them. Okay, so let's say we're working from a corner kick and what we should be watching. So, number one, I would put one of the bigger guys for our team right here. If I can find something. So, in the scenario of a corner kick, the basic idea is everybody should be covering a man. If they're going to get a corner right here and they're going to curl the ball in or just send it straight in, all of our team should be picking up a man. Nobody should be unmarked. If everybody's covered, they can't get a good shot. And if the ball does get through, what we want to do is be first to the ball and clear the ball out of the zone. Send it up. Okay, one of the final things I want to talk about is opportunities when crosses do come in. So let's say they're taking the ball down across, and the ball has bounced to someone that is maybe about right here, and our defensive line has moved back to cover them. So the new all one of the final things I do want to talk about is in the case of crosses. Let's say they've taken the ball down into there. Our fullback has moved over to cover. Our halfback has moved in to take the fullback's position, and they curl the ball in, and it gets to someone. Let's say their offender's right here, just waiting, and they get the ball. One thing that needs to happen for the defense is a lot of the times I noticed last game the defense was not stepping up on the person with the ball, allowing them to settle it and then look at the whole net, which is pretty big, and to pick a corner essentially and shoot it. Basically, what we need to work on this game is to always, always, always contest that shot. You need to move towards them. You can't allow them time to control the ball and set up and pick a corner. If you do, they're allowed to get the whole net, essentially, like they were getting last game. So if you see a guy settling a ball and no one's moving toward them, consider picking up that man yourself, because them settling the ball with no one attacking them and allowed to shoot are a lot more accurate than them settling the ball and having a defenseman come onto them. They're not going to be able to pick a good corner, and at that point, they have way less of a chance of actually making the goal than they do without being unmarked. I'll talk kind of briefly about offensive strategies, what I think for this game. What we're going to look to do is basically hit their line with speed. We don't have the best fundamental skills as far as ball control or shooting or something like that on our team. So what I'm going to look to do as goalie is when I catch the ball and recover it, because of my ability to get the ball down the field with a kick, I'm going to try to send it up as far as I can, basically straight at their goalie. So in that, I want all three forwards and the mids to start sprinting as hard as they can towards the goal. I'm going to kick the ball high and I'm going to kick the ball far. I should probably be able to get it to about this area right here. Guaranteed. Might even be able to get it over their goalie, but we'll see. When the ball lands, it'll kind of be in a little bit of a free-for-all. In that case, I think we might be able to get a few lucky bounces and maybe get a shot into their goal before they can really know it happened. That's kind of going to be the strategy. So when I pick up the ball back here, I'm going to back up and head straight for the goal line, the penalty area, and try to kick it as far as I can toward their goal. So forwards and midfields sprint forward. Defense on those, stay with your man and make sure they're not getting behind you like they are. That's going to be our strategy. Overall, there's things everyone can improve on this team. I'm gonna start running a little bit of a pre-game practice about. I think our game's at 6:40 tomorrow, so I'll be there at 6 with a ball. If anybody wants to join me and get some touches in, so you can practice, I'll run a little bit of a few drills to help us get warmed up and get some touches on the ball. Essentially, the things we got to work on as a team are going to be ball control, moving with the ball, and passing. We're losing a lot of balls because we can't control them, and we're sending them straight back to their team. Our passing has got to improve. Get it, along the ground, nice, quick, hard pass to each other, and then running and moving with the ball. has got to improve, or else we're not going to be able to break it up the field. Those are the top three things that I think everybody can work on and get a lot better at. Like I said, I'm going to be running drills and practices at 6. Our game's at 6:40, so if you want to come out and get a few touches on the ball, I'll be there. As far as who's playing what position, there's only a few people I know that I'd like at certain areas. My whole idea so far is to put Brenna at left defense. I'm going to switch up center between Goldie and Killian. And as far as right defense, I'm not sure yet. But at the center mids, I know for sure I'd like to move Emily and Paul. And Paul, if not here, at one of the forwards. At center, all I can think at this point is Jacob, but that depends on if he can make it. And at the two forwards, it would either be Paul, if he's not there, and Angie. Basically, what we're looking for up here is speed. We're looking for quickness because a lot of the times I'm going to be kicking the ball straight down the field, and we're going to have to move quick if we want to get that goal. If you have any questions about what you should be doing at a position or ways to improve your game, let me know. I'd be more than willing to help. Yeah, hopefully you can review this, and hopefully this makes a little bit more sense. If it doesn't, let me know, and I'm going to try a different way to teach you guys. But this is, again, the formation we should be playing, and the scenarios you saw is what we're going to try to run with for next game. Let me know if this made sense. I'll see you guys at the game.